Hi, and welcome to day 3 of your 7-day abs program, floor abs. Just like it says, floor or mat abs, everything on the floor. So, day 1, we had Pilates abs. Day 2 was standing. And I put this one here right before cardio abs and weighted abs because they kind of go in a little progression. So, you can repeat any of these until like before you do the cardio abs and the weighted abs. So, they can kind of like stack on. So I thought it kind of made sense, especially if you're just starting out on your fitness journey. So, my tip of the day here is good nutrition. So, this workout series is revolved around your core, okay, which is your midsection. All movement really starts from that area. And I get asked a lot, how do I decrease the size of my midsection? So it has to start in the kitchen and with your nutrition, um, which I think we all kind of know. But anything you do to work on that area is going to be helpful. Of course, it is. It's going to firm up the area. It's going to help with core stability, functional core, all your daily movements. And it's going to help you with your posture, your alignment, and you will notice a difference in your core region from these workouts. But good nutrition, I would keep it very simple. And I'll touch a little bit more on this later in the week, but building your meal around protein and fiber. We kind of forget fiber, and along with fiber is just your common sense vegetables, fruits and vegetables. Of course, all your leafy green vegetables they're going to have a lot of fiber. Um, Anything with skin, like an apple that has fiber in it, um, nuts, seeds, whole grains, things like that. Are there going to be all things that have a lot of fiber? Um, what else? Chia seeds, very high in fiber. If you add a couple of tablespoons to your Greek yogurt or your Greek yogurt and overnight oats, that's going to boost the fiber content. And fiber keeps you fuller. Plus, we need it to digest better. And there's so many studies that having a regular 25 to 30 grams of fiber daily can really help limit your chances of getting certain types of cancer. So that's a bonus. And protein, building your meals around protein and then good healthy fats and maybe some complex carbs, nature's carbs, if you will. But I'll touch a little bit on that, but I don't want to go too much on that because I want to get to the workout. So this is probably my favorite abdominal workout of the series. I've been teaching group exercise for a long time, and we just love floor abs. I try to throw them in when I can because so many of my members love them, but I love the standing abs too. I really feel like sometimes they're a little bit harder. So we're going to go right into it. And like always, we're going to start with a little warm up, and these are going to be flowing one into the other. So we're not really doing a 45-second or a 60-second interval, but they will be kind of interval like. But I just picked some great music. So we'll just be flowing one into the next. Are we ready? I'm ready. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so let's get started on the floor. Make sure you have your water and a mat, maybe a sweat towel. I'm going to grab that. All right. Okay, so let's get started on the floor. And we're just going to go roll up, roll down. So in Pilates abs, I showed you how to do a partial roll down. So I'm going to start there, but I'm going to add a little twist to it. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to roll down, roll up, and then bring your right elbow back, little oblique twist, and up, and now the other side. And now both arms straight out. So we'll just alternate this. So we'll go down, sit up, and then that elbow comes back like a little bow and arrow, little C shape through your spine. Do the other side. And we're just kind of warming up our core here. Think about maybe going down a little more. next time. And the slower you go, the more you connect. I'm going to go all the way down to the tips of my shoulders and then roll up and then give it a twist. Good. Nice. And come on up. Now we're going to go to all fours. And if you have weak wrists or your wrists bother you, you can always take a towel and roll it up and then just elevate the wrists a little bit. So we'll do a little cat and cow. I always do cat and cow, whether we're standing or on the mat, because it's just such an important movement for our spine, especially when we warm up. And then we're going to do a little, almost like a thread the needle, a little T-spine. So we're going to set the hips back, bring your right fingertip to your temple, or maybe the one closest to me, and crunch and come up. So we're going to keep that fingertip to your temple and just open up that shoulder as much as possible. Good. One more. And go to the other side. So open up that shoulder as much as you can. Inhale and then exhale as you come forward. And we're just kind of threading that elbow through, almost like thread the needle, but not all the way through. And one more. Good. All right. You should be nice and warm. So we're going to come down. And we're going to come down to our back. And I'm going to show you a way, if you really get weak in your neck, you can take this towel and kind of use it like a hammock, not pulling on your neck, but just supporting. Some people really like that for crunches. If you are the type of person that pushes on your head with your hands. All right. So we're going to have our feet on the floor. And you can just kind of relax for a second here and just come to a tilt of the pelvis here, just to kind of figure out where that neutral is. So we're almost feel like you're smushing something down into the mat, and then a little space here. You can see my hand through. So just come to a little pelvic tilt. And then you're going to find that neutral. So you can do it standing. We've done it standing in Pilates. And you're just going to find that neutral point where your spine might be pressing down, making contact with, but everybody has a different anatomy. So you might have a tiny bit of an arch, but as long as you're braced in your core, that is your neutral pelvis. Okay? So we're going to keep that there. We're going to take our fingertips just above the ears, nod the chin, and curl up. And we're going to go to crunch up and down. Now, I'm not going all the way down. This is move one. And you're just going to keep the elbows back a little bit, but you're not actively moving them. So the hands are just there to support the head. And now we're going to go to quick little pulses. And then we're going to combine these. So we're going to pulse up for 3 and then come all the way down. 3, 2, 1, lower down. Now you don't have to roll all the way down if you don't want to. You can just kind of let the shoulder blades come down a little. As far as your gaze, I'm just looking right between my knees when I come up. Need 2 more. And last one. And bring it all the way down. Good. Take a little break here, especially if your neck is feeling tired. That usually gets better over time. All right. And now we're going to come up and we're going to just bring one foot off the floor and twist. Good. Twist. Now, if you don't like bringing that foot off the floor, you can just twist side to side. Keep your feet firmly planted down. I like this one because your hand is still behind the head to support it. Some days are just better than others with this. So if you're tight, if your neck got tight when you were sleeping, it might be more uncomfortable. So you can just take as many breaks as you need. Bringing one leg up at a time. Makes it a little harder on those lower abs. One more each side. And we're going to bring it all the way down. Again, if you need to, just maybe look right and left. That takes the pressure off. All right, and we're going to go, my favorite is penguins. We're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. You're going to keep your right hand behind your head and then pulse for 3 and switch. So you go to the side, 2, 3. So you're not lifting up any higher. You're already lifted. Exhale, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you're working the obliques. You're thinking about bringing the rib to the hip, and there's a little space between your chin and your chest. So you're bringing that rib to hip. And again, you want to just kind of keep the gaze neutral, looking maybe at your knees. 2 more. You can go a little deeper each time and bring your head down. Good. All right, we're going to go into my favorites, a glute bridge. Arms at your side, or if you've been doing these a while, you can bring your arms up. We're going to pick up the hips, bring it down halfway, and come right back up. So this is our next move. Having the arms up does make it harder on your core. So you can just lay your arms down gently with your palms up or down. I just don't want you pushing your hands down. Good. I like arms up. And you can keep that squeeze on your abs the whole time. And you're obviously squeezing those glutes and hamstrings here. Good. Press into your whole foot. That really does help. Not just the heel, the whole foot. All 4 corners of that foot. Shoulders down away from the ears. And now we're going to hold the next one up. You can bring your arms down for this one. Bring your feet in a little bit. And we're going to do a march. So while you're up in this glute bridge, you're going to keep your hips level and we're going to march really slow. And your hips aren't going to be as high here. I like to have my fingertips right on my hips so I can kind of feel for it. You're going to feel one glute at a time work as well as your core. So your goal here is to keep the hips level. One hip might dip down, and you don't have to keep your hands there if you're good with it and you can kind of feel for it. It's hard because you're not looking at them, you're just kind of feeling. But the slower you go, the better this is. This is a good alternative if you don't like a plank. This is a really good one. And I want you to push hard into that foot as the other leg comes up. It's like a single leg glute bridge, but we're alternating it. Last one. And bring it down. Hug those knees in. Take a little rock side to side. Excellent job. All right. We're going to go to hip lifts now. So I'm going to have you cross your ankles. And then I'll tell you to switch because I want it to be pretty even. So right now I have my right over my left. And I like to do this one with the head, neck, and shoulders up. But you can have your hands on the floor. And we're just going to lift our heels away from the glutes, so you don't want to be here. And we're going to curl the hips up. And we're just going to stop right there. Now, the reason I want you to just keep your heels even with the knees, because I don't want you to do this. See how I'm adding momentum here? We don't want to do that. If you want to make it harder, you can come down as long as you're not arching the back. And then you're going to switch. I like coming down partial, but you can just hold it right there and focus on using your lower abs to lift those hips. I like it with the upper crunch, but you can be here if you're more comfortable keeping the head down, as long as you're not kicking the legs up. Imagine you have a little tennis ball under your knee here. And last one. Good. Hug your knees in. Let's go to a little recovery here. Toes on the floor. Arms to your side. And we're just going to bring the knees right and left. Keeping the shoulder blades down. And you can also do this with your feet up if you feel good about it. Always start out with the toes down. And your main mission here is to keep those shoulder blades down. Just a nice little release. You did this in Pilates the other day. Last one. Good. And come back to center. All right. We're going to go to a bicycle. Again, this is my favorite. You can be here, alternating. Okay, we kind of did this here. But this time you're keeping both hands back. Or you can bring the legs up and extend. I like a little hold. We're going to change it up. So we're going to go 1, 2, hold for 3. That's a little harder. 1, 2, hold for 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're breathing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You can point or flex your feet. You can make it a little easier by bringing the legs up. Good. And you really want to press and lengthen. One knee in, one knee out. The more you can pick up those shoulders, the harder it is. We have one more. And hug both knees in. Good job. All right, we're going to change position. All right, we're going to go into a side plank. I'll give you a couple of options here. We're going to be on our elbow. Our elbow is under our shoulder. Again, you can pad it up with a little towel if you need. Level 1, you're going to be right here, okay? And you're going to do a clam, okay? With the hips down. Otherwise, lift those hips and lower and lift the hips. This is level 2, okay? Level 3, you're going to stack or stagger the feet. So I'm going to stack my feet and we're going to go down and up. We have 16 of these. 3, 4, good. 5, 6, good. You can have your arm up. 7, 8, halfway there. You want to keep your shoulder right over that elbow and you want to keep your chest open. So you don't want to round here. Good. I know you're feeling the shoulder too, but I gave you 2 other options if that's better for you. Abs are tight. One more. Bring it down. Whew. Before we go to the other side, we're going to do a swimming superhero. Now you can keep it fast or slow. If you're doing this one slower, you're going to point your toes either way. You're going to go opposite arm, opposite leg, right there. Okay, or we're going to swim the legs and bring the arms in and out. Ready? And go. This one I'm not counting reps, just for time. And if it's too much to have that back extension, you can just keep it here. Your face is a little bit lower down to the mat. Make sure you squeeze your abs here. I like this variation because I think it's more functional than having the arms out there. So real life fitness here. Remember, you can be here, always having one hand down. That's fine too. 4, 3, a little bit of glutes here, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Sit back into your shell or your child's pose. Take a nice little stretch there. All right, we're going to go to the other side for the hip dips. Remember your options. Level 1, on that elbow, opening and closing. Level 2, you're going to lift the hips and do your dips there, or have the legs extended. So this would be 2, and you can have your arm up. You don't have to go too far in each direction, okay? All right, and we want to make sure you keep space between that ear and shoulder. Are we ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, count with me. 7, not too fast. 8, keep those lower abs tight. 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Woo. All right. I'm just going to check my time. I'm not done yet. All right. We're almost there. Remember, I do about a 2-minute warm-up and about a minute or 2 cool down. So always take that into consideration. All right. We have flutters, which is going to be on our back or elbows. I'll show you the one I love on the elbows. And you're going to flutter. Okay, right here, your chest is lifted. You want to make sure you're not arched. You can take those elbows a little further away, or you can have your head down, flutter here, or my favorite is head, neck, and shoulders up. You can have your arms back or up. That makes it a little harder. I'm going to hold a towel, and I'm just going to use that towel to keep my posture. So you can join me on that one. I'll start you out on the elbows right here. Okay, you're also getting some inner thigh here. I want you to think about doing this slowly. I like to point the toes. This is more of a scissor. The lower those legs. So scissor or crisscross, whatever you want to do, or flutter. And I'll show you the other variation. It's a little harder. Again, crisscross here. You can also flutter. That's what I demoed. So flutter or crisscross. I like the crisscross. You can also be here. Okay, use that towel and keep the legs up a little higher. That's going to be a little easier. So figure which one you want to do. My eyes are at my legs. I like the crisscross. You can also have your arms up. That's a little harder. Arms are nice and straight here. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Definitely felt that muscle failure there. So that's a hard one to keep the hips down. That's why we did it almost next to last. Okay. I'm going to show you a elbow plank, and I'll give you an option for plank if you don't like either plank option. This is our last move. So you can be in a high plank here and do shoulder taps, okay, without keeping the hips quiet. If you don't like that one, and I have an elbow plank variation of that, you can do a table tap down like a dead bug, with or without the arms. Again, you want to remember to keep that knee angle. We don't want to move the knee joint. We want to keep it. And you can even just do them here and really work on staying stable in your core. It's the same thing we're doing in a plank. Okay? All right. And I'm going to give you one more variation. You can stay in an elbow plank if you don't like being up on the hands, and we're going to tap out. And you're still keeping the core stable, no matter which variation you're doing. Last move, so you can do the tabletop tap downs, the high plank. I'll give you one more variation for that. If you don't like to be in high plank because your wrists hurt, you can hold on to dumbbells and you can tap. So you want to do this while keeping the hips stable. I'm going to do the elbow plank variation. Come on, you have about 30 more seconds to go. Ready? And tap. You can even tap that weight or a block or anything you imagine out there, but I'm not picking up my head to look at it. I'm still looking straight down. Now, I'll give you another tip. The further your feet are apart, the greater that stability you have, whether you're on your toes, on your hands or your elbows. Imagine you're balancing like your favorite teacup or favorite Starbucks drink right here. You don't want it to move, okay? So, only a few more. These are so hard. Abs are tight. Have to tighten up those lower abs. Last one. Whew. And bring it down. Nice job. Have a seat. We're going to stretch out. So just take some deep breaths here. We're going to roll it down. Hug your knees in. And then bring your arms open. Bring your knees to one side. And just want to keep the shoulder blades down. It's a great stretch. It's a reclined spine twist. You can also do it seated. But since this is mat abs, we're doing it on the mat, other side. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Some of the exercises were quite challenging, but I tried to give some options for everything. And just relax. Take some nice big deep breaths. Relax the muscles of your face. And we're going to come to that shoulder bridge again. And we're just going to hold the hips high. If you're a yogi and you know this one, you can take those shoulder blades underneath and interlace your fingers. Ah, it feels so good. Opening up the chest here, or you can just have your arms at your sides. Slowly bring it down. Hug your knees into your chest. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders up. Nod the chin. And we're going to keep our hands here. We're going to roll like a ball 3 times. We're going to roll it down. Keep your hands on your thighs or on your shins. Your eyes are on your thighs. Really on your belly button. Last one. Whew. And let's just stretch out our hamstrings. Sometimes they can get tight. Inhale up, hinge forward. Make sure your arms are up and not here right now. You're just feeling that stretch through the low back, opening the chest, and then you can fold over those legs. If you can't reach your toes, please don't worry about it. It's not about reaching your toes. It's about feeling the stretch here. So maybe you bend the knees and then slowly inch your way, or you can take your towel here. That can help you come on down, reach to the crown of the head, hold yourself in 2. Excellent. So I hope you loved the floor abs I had for you today. Make sure you drink some water. Remember your tip of the day, getting fiber and protein throughout the day. Protein at every meal, fiber at every meal. Lots of fruits and vegetables and nature's carbs. Your green leafy vegetables, your fruits, your blueberries, all the wonderful foods. Eat the rainbow, and that will help you along with this program and just feeling great. You're already going to feel great and accomplished doing these 7-day abs. So have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.